I feel like I've had such incredible support, like from the Black community and like the role models and the mentors I've had in my life that I always just felt like it was like, we're all here with you. So it never felt like we're expecting these things and like pressure in that way. I just always have felt proud to like push and fight.
Welcome to my podcast. I started like we were in the middle of it. I always start by giving people their flowers. And you're one of those people where it's like, there's too many, I mean, it's just so many flowers to give. But I want to start specifically because as I started, I may have been out of the loop. When you popped up at the Oscars, I felt like I hadn't been told. I felt like I wasn't ready. Me and my whole family were like, wait, what is that, Misty? I'm on my phone, like trying to figure it out. And talk about such a moment of triumph and also such an unexpected and deserved moment, for you to like sort of like, and also then the cherry on top of it, like of Timothy Chalamet being there, like having to like, yay, ballet. Yay! Just what I wanted on a night where I didn't win an Oscar.
Oh my God!
Ballet.
No.
But like, just there are many times I think of this about ballet dancers. As you know, my wife Melissa is a contemporary dancer. Just the athletic achievement alone. Forget the beauty. Just putting aside the beauty, but just the like, as somebody who follows sports and. As much as I don't like LeBron James because I support a different team. Sports don't like him as a human. He's fine. But like to see him at his age doing what he's doing, I have to be like, I think I like him a little bit now, just because now I'm seeing him do things that I have to be a little impressed. But to know what you had gone through with your with your surgery, and then to just be like, yeah, I'm going to do the Oscars.
Yeah, so
all the flowers from Misty Copeland.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely not how I imagined I would come back to the stage and when I would come back to the stage. I was thinking, I had my hip replacement surgery at the end of December. I mean,
just take a dramatic pause because that's a thing that when people hear about it, it's usually somebody who's, older people.
Right.
And it's not so they can start to do pirouettes again.
No.
It's so they can negotiate their way up and down stairs.
Right.
And walk to and from the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's not generally a thing so you can get back into like the highest level of athletic achievement possible.
Yeah.
That's more like back.
Yes. I mean, and the surgery, like all of it kind of just happened like pretty quickly. I had my farewell performance leaving American Ballet Theatre after a 25-year career there in October of 2025, and was having some hip pain and was in a lot of pain actually during my final performance. And then afterwards was the first time that I heard that I would need a hip replacement. So my plans, even just stepping away from American Ballet Theatre, whether I would have had a hip replacement or not, my plan was to kind of just like take a beat, take a pause, and maybe in 2027, come back to the stage. And so when Ryan Coogler's team called and they're like, it was a little under 3 months after my hip surgery. And they were like, Ryan really would want you to be a part of this moment and what it meant for the film, what it meant for Sinners in that incredible scene where, you kind of see this like lineage and history of dance and music and indigenous dance and music in America, Black dance and Black music, that scene, he said that I was, a part of the inspiration for like the Black ballerina who's in it. Even what she's wearing was inspired by the ballet Firebird. And so he was like, this is the moment. Like you've got to be on this stage, for all that it represents. And so I was like, listen, he was like, you could just stand there. You don't have to dance. You could just walk out and stand there and it'll mean so much. And I was like, boy, I can't just walk out and stand there.
You can just walk out. You just with your
crutches. With my walker. Yeah.
Hey
like,
guys,
here I am.
I'm here. Anyway, back to, and you were like, no, that's not how we do it.
I was like, listen, I'm going to say yes, but I don't know what I'll be able to do. And so I went into the basement, got my point shoes out.
I love the basement.
Got my point shoes out because they were locked up. I was like, I don't know when I'm going to need these again. Locked up. And so I was like, let me get them
where's
out.
The key for my point shoes?
Totally. Because I was not planning on using them for some time. And flew out to LA. Went into the studio with all of these incredible artists that were on the stage, and was like, "Let me see what I can do." And there's a bigger purpose, I think, for being a part of that, and what it meant for Ryan that night, what it meant for Michael B. Jordan, what it meant for Black artists and creators at the Oscars, and it was worth me, putting them on again.
There's a somewhat viral video from like this year, Michael Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan. I guess I got to say it in front of you.
Michael Jordan.
The first Michael Jordan that we knew about, like told a story about being in an Airbnb and there was a basketball hoop in the backyard and the family who owned the house was somehow there and they asked him if he would shoot a free throw. Oh. And he talks about the pressure he felt in that moment. Like, it was like as if the guy who had accomplished
like,
all this.
It's like, you have to make this.
Yeah. And there's like a little kid wearing a Jordan jersey. And it's like all the things Michael Jordan has done, he said he felt pressure in that moment as if it was like the playoffs and he had to hit like a game-winning three-pointer, but this was a free throw in a backyard.
Oh, I get it.
And I sort of thought about that, and this is like, I have to come out and and somehow do the thing that I'm known for, even though, and you weren't gone as long as Michael, but you also went through, What kind of pressure do you put on yourself in that moment? Because like you said, Ryan was like, you can just sort of, he probably would have said, if you just sit on a couch and he'd have been fine to have you. Talk about the pressure that you put on yourself to actually like, no, I'm not going to just be there. I'm going to do something that is impressive, even if I hadn't had a hip replacement.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's ingrained in us as dancers, specifically as ballet dancers, is like that, has been so important to me, even in creating my foundation, that to be exposed to and to be a part of, you're building on skills and developing parts of yourself that you can take with you no matter what you do in your life. And so I feel like ballet has really given me the confidence and just wherewithal to like always be prepared as possible, and putting my best foot forward, no matter what the situation is, no matter how big, how small. And so I think it was, it's like always been pressure on myself. I've never really like thinking about like other people and necessarily their expectations of me, but my own. And so once I got to I only had 3 days of rehearsal before we went out into the performance. So I was like kind of like getting myself back in it for 3 days. And that was kind of crazy. So, but I was like, I felt good and I felt confident before I went out there. But once I go out there, like, and specifically in spaces like that, there are more like concert kind of commercialized dance, opportunities for me are like way less pressure. So like it felt like a party. Like I was, like even like the head of the Oscars came up to me before and was like, "Oh my God, are you nervous? There's millions and millions of people watching." And I was like, no, I'm good.
I'm dancing in the American Ballet.
I mean? Like, the difference in like the kind of like the situations of dancing at Lincoln Center and the Metropolitan Opera House, or like, in Moscow, or, wherever it may be, a La Scala in
where
Milan.
Audiences aren't necessarily, at the Oscars, everybody's there really just like, oh my God. As opposed to places where they're like, show me.
Totally.
Is that the difference?
100%. So, I was like, this is fun. Like, I was so excited to go out there and in those moments and when you might be exposing people to a craft or something that they might not know much about, or seeing it in a different way, and to see me collaborating with different artists was like just a cool opportunity.
That's so, that was so amazing. So I want to go back to you said you didn't know you were gonna have a hip replacement until after you
after my performance.
What's going through your head when the doctor goes, surprise? Or
I was really excited.
You were?
I was.
Okay. Man, I'm not prepared for any of this. Yeah.
Right, this is not
I got
what
a bad ankle and I'm not excited. Yeah.
For me, it was like it was a solution to the problem, and I'm all about like, let's get this taken care of, let's keep things moving instead of like living in this gray space. Leading up to my farewell performance, I hadn't danced in over 5 years, so I really my body wasn't in shape. So it was a lot of preparation just to get to the stage to do one performance. Okay. And in that time, I started to feel pain that I'd never experienced my whole career. And I went in, I had x-rays and MRIs and all the things. And they were like, you have labral tear and you have bone spurs. And so there were all these things that you can't, there's not really much you can do for them. So I got, the cortisone shots, and I did some PRP injections where they take your blood and, they spin it and they inject it. I did all these things that did nothing, actually felt worse after. And so I was living in this like in between, like, do I just rest for a long time? But I was in pain in my everyday life, just sitting, walking. So when they said you needed a hip replacement, it wasn't like, oh, let's just try this injection. I was like, thank the Lord.
You're like, let's just get all that bad stuff out of there and replace it with some better stuff.
Start over and give me, just a way to start fresh. I'm not afraid of like injury and that process. So it's not new to me.
So I guess you understood that, like, because if knowing nothing about anything, like I recently went to the doctor because I have my left ankle's bad, and he was basically just like, "Yep." You're kind of like, you're at that age where
it's just, this is what it is.
This is what it is, and you can take ibuprofen, and he was very nice about it.
I'd be like, no, give me a new foot.
Yes, but then I'm like, I'm probably not going to go as hard in the pain as you did if I get a new foot. I'm not going to I saw the videos of you, like all the things you're doing. I'd be the guy who'd get the new foot and be like, that's fine. And it would, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do all the rehab necessary to sustain. And maybe the doctor knew that. Like, you're not,
you're not deserving of this new limb.
you just got just a new way. It's just a new way to people identify you. Which Kamau? The guy with Kamau with the limp. Oh yeah, that Kamau. I know that Kamau. But you sort of understood that the hip replacement was actually going to be a way to get back to be able to continue to dance without pain.
Yeah, okay. I think also just living my life too without pain.
Yeah.
But
sitting without pain.
Yeah, sitting without pain, walking without pain. But yeah, I mean, leaving American Ballet Theatre, this where the word retirement keeps getting used, and it's not at all retirement. It's just stepping away from this company that I've spent so much of my life with, but I still want to continue dancing and really in a way that feels like it's my voice and the stories I want to tell, and so it feels very freeing to be in this place of ownership and kind of power over this next stage.
Yeah, I think the word retirement then seems to be I understand retiring from that company, but that's certainly not how I took it in, and I think
most people.
I think
they thought retirement from ballet.
Yeah, retirement from ballet, like the way that. Again, the athlete thing, the way an athlete retires.
Right.
Like, there's all this talk now of like LeBron James, maybe, when is he going to retire? Nobody expects when he retires, he's then going to go play basketball in China. Like, it's not like I'm retiring from the NBA to go play basketball in Europe.
I guess you're right.
It's generally like retirement, like I'm done on the professional level. Yes, I will play basketball in my backyard or whatever. Right. But this is like, it's good to know this is like opens up the opportunity for you to do things that are more your creative vision. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So that you can, so it's not like about dancing in somebody else's program.
No.
It's the Misty Copeland
I'm not
show.
I don't know if I would say that. It's,
I'm in showbiz.
When I was Misty Copeland
I'm
show.
thinking about a Netflix special.
I love it.
Yeah, I got a whole plan. I'm your manager.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
The Kamau Misty team. I look at this next phase as like, how am I kind of like the narrator in this next chapter of my story? Whereas I spent, so much of my career being this vessel to tell other stories, other people's stories. And, and you look at ballet and this lineage and this history and the tradition. And it's so fascinating to be a Black woman in this body telling these white European stories that were written hundreds of years ago, though I love, I wouldn't have done ballet for as long as I have if I didn't love, and connect to a lot of it, but then so much of it you don't. And so to be in a space where, and I don't even necessarily see myself as always being the storyteller.
Oh yeah.
Even in this next phase of dance, I want to be able to curate shows that it's not just me dancing in, and it's collaborations with other artists. So it's not just kind of like, oh, I'm just kind of creating like a Misty company
you're not
or
just
something.
like, you're not just, So I understand, like curating, like
curating.
choreography, and That's, I mean, I think one of the best things about, in the list of good things about my wife, one of the best things that helped me was because she was in dance and contemporary modern dance, and also in the Bay Area. That means you get into some. I feel like the dance scene and the performance art scene are often aligned. I've seen some weird things. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, you're really in there deep. You're exposed to it in ways a lot of people are not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, it made me understand that like the world of performance and art is more vast than I could imagine, and it also made me understand just because I don't like a thing, it doesn't mean the thing doesn't have value. Like just
hello, Mr. Chalamet.
I could be like, I didn't get any of that. I don't know what that was about. And then I guess it wasn't for you, Kamau, because everybody else seems to be, or nobody does, but those people are having a good time.
Well, that's the incredible thing about art, you know? It's subjective.
Yep.
And people are coming at it, into it with such different experiences and lenses. And that's what's so incredible and beautiful about it,
I'm not going to hammer this point too much longer, but the other thing about it, and this is the part about it that I think drove me about his sort of flippancy, is the idea that like, and you certainly understand, isn't one of the reasons specifically that ballet, wherever it's at in American culture, is about accessibility for people to get to the art form, for a young girl to get to, a young Black girl especially, or a young girl even young white girls who live in like Appalachia or whatever, to get to in a way that like every asshole has an acting class.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I mean, it's just,
true.
There's an accessibility thing.
Yeah.
And the same way I think about sports, like the reason why Venus and Serena Williams were so noticeable was because their dad was like, I'm taking you to a tennis court and we're going to do this in ways that like most Black people in this country don't grow up around.
Right. It's not in their
courts.
communities.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally why I built the programs that I built through my foundation, that so often, Black and brown kids are plucked out of their communities and taken into places where they're not seeing themselves, and there aren't teachers who look like them or understand the journeys they've been through or where they come from. And instead, like, why can't we bring these opportunities to them in their communities and meet them where they are?
Yeah.
And, that was my experience actually with ballet. It was at a Boys and Girls Club where I took my first ballet class. And then went to the local ballet studio that was right there in my community. And I think that, there's something to that gives kids like the confidence and sense of belonging that, they can be in this space. They don't have to be taken out of their communities to thrive. But all of that to say that, yes, just because something, is extremely accessible or popular doesn't mean that it has incredible value or lasting value.
Yeah. That doesn't inherently make it more valuable, or also we're also living in a moment in time. And the thing that you think is so cool right now, in 100 years, may not exist. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just think that
we got proof that this is still hundreds of years old, and like
Hollywood is
still doing it.
Just over 100 years old. Like it's not like it's and obviously I just feel like it had. That's about the Bay Area has done for me when I moved out there in 97, and I realized, I moved out to the Bay Area right after. I guess how you started dancing in 96, just that midnight. And which is when I sort of like grew up a lot, even though I was an adult, but it was really much, I started to meet lots of different people. And I really the best thing the Bay Area taught me, among the things, was the value of shutting up and listening. Like being in spaces where it's like, I don't think my opinion is needed here. And if I'm quiet, I'll learn some things. Like, because I was around like so many different types of people, gender, sexuality, artistic expression, views on the world,
I feel the same whenever I come to the Bay. Where I'm just like take it all in.
Take it all in. Yeah. So you're talking about like the next phase of your career, and I know that you and Dawn Porter are currently working together, which I was just like, yay!
Yay, I know.
Dawn Porter, the incredible
I feel so
documentary
honored.
director.
Yes.
Yeah. How did that relationship come about, and where are you at in the process? And when can I see it? Those are my three questions.
So amongst many things that I have going on in my career, they're all connected and tied to the arts and this kind of through line of dance and ballet and the importance of it, and bringing it to different spaces and different mediums and how it can be delivered in different ways when you have different platforms. And so I started a production company called Life in Motion Productions some years ago now, and we've gotten some good momentum. So there's some really cool projects that are on the horizon, that are in development, and this documentary being one of them. So my partner Layla and we've been kind of capturing ourselves, like filming different things, like throughout my journey over the last, like through the pandemic we did, and kind of like not knowing what this would be, where it was going, but just kind of capturing things. And Dawn came on board. God, when did she come on board? Maybe halfway through last year, leading up to my farewell, and really kind of, she was really excited to come on board. Actually, Layla and I had spoken to her years ago, and we didn't really know we just like having the conversations, meeting different creatives, directors, producers, and she was like, I would love to work together at some point. So we kind of came back to revisited. We've done a lot of filming. She did an incredible job of capturing like so much amazing footage of my farewell performance, and so many people that didn't get an opportunity to be there live and see it will get to see.
I think that's the thing I kept.
Yes,
that's exciting.
Which is very exciting. Yeah. But we're still filming. I'm hoping that we'll be done by the end of this year, and then really thinking about next year where we'll see it in different festivals and what distribution will look like.
Nice. I mean, it shouldn't go without saying that like it says a lot about who you are and your impact on the world that this will be your second documentary. That, I mean, there are some people who have to write multiple memoirs in their life, like Maya Angelou wrote multiple memoirs. And I think that you're a multiple memoir person. You're like the different phases of things you're doing.
It's really cool to have the opportunity to kind of step into all of these different spaces. And, I don't know where this comes from, where it came from, but I never looked at American Ballet Theatre as like the end goal. Wow. Even as a young girl, though, that was the company. I was like, this is it. That's the place I have to be. But I never saw it as I felt like, oh, this will be such a beautiful journey to be on that'll take me somewhere else. And maybe that was like the mentors I've had in my life. Maybe it was my first ballet teacher that saw so much potential in me in a way that I never experienced. Like as a child, like I'm one of 6 children. I'm the 4th. I come from a single parent home, and we were houseless for most of my upbringing. And it was just like a lot of struggle and survival. And I'd never experienced someone like wanting to pour into me or see possibilities. And so when that first ballet teacher was like, I've never seen a talent like yours, like wanting to invest in me. And it felt bigger than just me as a dancer. It felt like wanting to invest in me as a human being. And I think that sparked something in me where I think I always saw ballet as this incredible tool that can take me places rather than it being the destination. And I think that's really served me throughout my career to be able to expand and step into different spaces while still taking ballet with me as like, I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it makes sense. No, that it's a fast track to a different life from the one from like you said, being one of 6 in houses with a single parent in the home. There's this aspect of like, how do I improve my circumstances and the circumstances of those around me? And ballet becomes like, not in a cynical way. Oh my God, I'm good at this. I didn't know I was good at this. I didn't know. Now this opens up possibility. But it's not the end goal.
And that's really been, whether it's I wrote my first book when I was 29 years old. That's when my first memoir came out. And I think I'm working on my 11th at the moment. I know but it's just, I feel like when I step into something, like I want to do, like we were talking about, I want to do my best, and I want to like, keep it moving. And as long as people are interested, like continue creating in those spaces. And so it's exciting to step into the producer space and film and television and media and that area, because there's so much we can say as dancers, and kind of bringing movement into that space, and movement as a storytelling tool in a way that we used to do in old Hollywood, and that I would love to see come back in a way that feels relevant and makes sense for like where we are.
So there's the physical component of what you do. There's the art, and not that the physical and art are separate, but that it's like, it's not just about how many pirouettes you can do.
Right.
It's about like, how can you make this all beautiful and connected? So there's the art side of what you do. But then because you're in this position of like being the first Black woman, everywhere you went in ballet, you're the first. I feel like my mom, I always joke about, was like, she always was in, as she's 89, but she was always the first Black woman to turn left on this street in the history of Indianapolis. You know what I mean? Like everywhere she went, the first Black woman to walk in this door,
to sneeze in this room.
Exactly. Like she was just in that era because she was like making new ways and didn't believe in being held back. She was the first, we've never had a Black woman say, excuse me, at 5:05 p.m. on this street corner. So you're in a position like that, which carries its own weight. Does that weight, and I'm not that I'm in the same position, but I've talked about, like, when you're a Black person who's notable, you sort of become a little bit of spokesperson for the race.
Absolutely.
And I always have to be clear about when I think I'm speaking for the race versus this is a Kamau thought. You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to have my own thoughts, and I also don't want Black people to think that I think everything comes out of my mouth is about all of us.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm so proud that young Black people can like anime openly. I feel very I feel like I fought so that could happen.
Oh,
like,
I love that.
Just because it's like liking things like that when I was a kid was not a thing you could talk about.
Right,
yeah, so,
totally.
So
yeah, it's an interesting like place to hold, like a space to hold and a place to be in. That I feel like I've had such incredible support, like from the Black community and like the role models and the mentors I've had in my life, that I always just felt like it was like, we're all here with you. So it never felt like we're expecting these things and like pressure in that way. I just always have felt proud to like push and fight. And it wasn't like, I don't know, there were some moments that I put pressure on myself for sure. But it was more, I think, thinking not about like how the Black community would feel. Like they wouldn't look at me as a failure, like if I weren't promoted to principal dancer. I think it was more about like, well, what the realities of what will happen next if I don't reach this point. I like, whether it was the first time I did Swan Lake, and if I don't, I was the first Black woman to perform the lead in that role at American Ballet Theatre in their, I don't know, like 80-year history. And like, oh, if I don't do this exactly how everyone's expecting me to do it, meaning the ballet critics, like, will a Black woman ever be given this opportunity?
That's what I'm talking about.
Those are the types of things that definitely I've experienced for sure.
Because it's not that Misty's not good at Swan Lake.
It's that that's what they say. You represent all of us.
Clearly, Black people are.
If you can't do this the way we want you to, then no one else can either.
Even if you're just making a better choice for you,
right?
That also may be more interesting for the thing.
Exactly.
It's not the way it has been done before.
Totally.
Yeah.
So there's that, but again, I've had like just incredible support where it's like snapping me out of it. Like, girl, get back to it. You got work to do. Like Debbie Allen, it's like, whether it's Debbie Allen or it's Prince or it's, Susan Failshill, like Val Carlotti, like so many incredible Black people in my life that have just been like, yes, like we are all so proud of you, but this is you out there doing this,
I mean, you just snuck Prince in there, like, it's quite. I mean, not that you're name dropping because you knew him, but I just it's a very rare person, like Prince, and who you worked with,
yes, for many years,
and who. Was another time I feel like Ryan Coogler reaching out of the mist and saying, I need you to do this. Prince also did that for you.
Yes. Yeah. He played such an important role in my life and at a very critical time in my career. think I was 26, 27 when Prince and I when we connected and first started working together. And to have a Black artist, and him specifically, who was just so, I don't know, he spoke to exactly what I needed in that time, which was like, you don't have to fit into this mold. Like, you can be exactly who you want to be and the artist you want to be. And coming from like the ballet world, which is like, you know, uniformity and it was like exactly what I needed to hear, because at the time I was the only Black woman at ABT, you know, for 10 years of my career. But during that time that I was working with him and him just like changing my perspective on things, you know, instead of feeling like so isolated and alone, he was just like, you're so special to be the only out there. And like, everyone's going to look at you. Isn't that what you want? You know? And so it was, you know, that was just like a kind of bigger picture thing but there were just so many little things in terms of like the artistry and not being afraid to like be different and that he represented so well. And then just seeing a genius perform like right in front of you and working with them was an unbelievable experience. And I feel like I had massive growth as an artist in the years that we worked together.
And plus, that's the song that I saw you two dance, The Beautiful Ones, is like, that is one of those, like,
I know.
Whoo!
I know. When he chose that song, I was like, thank God he chose that one. I mean, it's because I've danced to so many of his songs on tour. You know, he would literally he would have like a piece of paper and he would just jot down like all the songs he wanted to have, you know, perform that night. And he would be like, you're going to dance to all of these. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, as a ballet dancer, like we have choreography that is set and we rehearse for a very long time. And so it was the first time I went out and just improvised.
I mean, that's wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all understand that. But yeah, I don't think that ballet is a choreographed art form generally. And but he was just like,
just come out here and just make something up.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And so like the first tour, we were in like some small places in France, like traveling around and like the first performance, I remember it was like in this outdoor amphitheater. I wish I could remember exactly where it was. And it was like sold out. I mean, it was full.
Oh.
And I was just
Prince
out
is popular?
there like, I mean, it was like a lot of people. And I went out there and I was just like doing my thing. Like, and I don't know, the audience probably wasn't really that engaged. They're just like, when is Prince coming out? You know what I mean? And I'm like moving around. And then all of a sudden he was like, you know, when I come out, then we can transition and then I'll go into my song. And I'm doing my thing and I'm like working so hard. I'm like,
and
how
you're
do I
making
get
it up?
them? I've been making it up. And I'm like, you know, and
I like how your thing suddenly becomes like doing that Misty Copeland thing, you know, the soft shoe, the shuffle.
Totally. I was like, what else can I
Jazz
do to
hands.
get them going? And then I was like, let me do a grand bas ma. So I kicked my leg up and the whole audience went, "Ah," and I was like, that was the move. And then I turned around and Prince had come on. And I was like, I'm gonna walk away now.
Oh, that's funny. I love your impression of yourself. And then I shuffled out the door.
And then I backed out.
I did the grand bas and I did a moonwalk out the door. The fact that he was just like, go do your thing. And like, you're like, but we haven't had a year of rehearsal.
I know.
How do I do my thing?
But that trust, I mean, it gave me this sense of confidence that like, I can do this and there is more in there. And, you know, I really wanted to work with him. But it was like, to be able to bring ballet to these stages. And it was really amazing and something that is so powerful that happens, you know, I mean, up until like my last performance, but like going to the stage door and meeting fans and them saying, I had no interest in ballet until I saw you perform with Prince. And now I come and see American Ballet Theatre. I go and whatever it is. And it was like sparking that interest.
So you're saying that you made ballet more popular? I'm sorry. I'll stop. Ballet's getting more popular? I'm sorry. I'll stop. Was there any sort of like, because I don't know, understand. I know that ballet, there's like a season, like when, like in there's like, this is the season. Did you have to, did it conflict? Prince asking you, was there, I would imagine
That's
there
a
might
good
be some ballet
question.
people who were like, wait, what are you about to go do?
No, there was some of that, but not because so my career is first and foremost. It did not matter what opportunity and who came calling. I never missed shows, rehearsals, nothing to
okay.
work with Prince. And that was important to me, like in all my partnerships and collaborations, is that they understand what it takes to do what I do. And I'm not going to just step away because I have this opportunity.
That's important
You know,
to hear.
and Prince was amazing with that. Like he worked around like my schedule when it came to
It's not a thing you hear about Prince. He worked around my schedule.
it was wild. Like, you know, he would have an, you know, different structure of the show if I wasn't going to be there. But I performed with him quite a bit at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
And I was in Nutcracker season at the same time. We were performing in Brooklyn at BAM, American Ballet Theatre was. So it was literally at the same time. And so any night I wasn't on, I would go over to Madison Square Garden. I would perform with him. But he, you know, it was kind of like, this is what it has to be.
That says a lot about his respect for you, because I just want to highlight again, Prince not known for like, I'll wait for you. That's not a famous Prince quote. Just whenever you're ready, I'll be here. That's not what he's known for, what he was known for. But that's how much he believed in wanting to work with you.
I mean, his investment in young artists, I think maybe a lot of people didn't get an opportunity to really know and see. And I watched it firsthand, you know, him like always like had his, you know, hand on the pulse of like what's new and what's happening, and just wanting to uplift, you know, new artists and young artists. And so he was really committed to that.
Wow. As we talk about the idea of being committed to things, your commitment to ballet shoe emojis.
Dude, shit still hasn't happened.
But I just was like,
yeah,
because it's totally meaningful. I want to be clear about that. It is not nothing to say that like we should all be able to see ourselves, especially in the technology we're using every day.
Yes.
And I mean, I remember the first time when I realized when they finally made it like the hand emojis could be different colors. And I remember having this thought, like, because they were all like sort of a, you know, generic
orangey yellow,
like a Simpsons
Bart
hand.
Simpson,
totally. which is white. Let's be clear. The Simpsons are white.
Yes.
It's not, you know. So that sort of stood in for white people. And then when they said it was different, and there was like 4 or 5, like maybe 5 different shades, and I had this thought of like, am I the darkest shade?
Right, which one am I?
Am I the second
and
darkest
how do you
shade?
view yourself? Isn't that funny?
And how am I telling other people that I view myself?
No, I know. Because I have friends where I'm like, that's not your color.
Well, I have to admit, I was like, I'm choosing the darkest shade.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's what I'm supposed to do.
And I've had people too that've been like, why is it so dark? I'm like, that's how I see myself.
That's how and I want you to know it's also I'm black. And I see myself as it's not just about the skin tone, it's about the representation because I also felt like if I picked too light of a thing, so I'd be like, oh, Kamau, that's how you see yourself. Okay. Thinks he's high yellow. It's like, so I remember having that thought. So when I saw you doing the thing for ballet shoes, saying that like we need to have the toe shoes need to be multiple skin tones, I was like, yeah, of course.
Well, you set this up very beautifully, because I feel like, you know, in the way that you talked about the importance of, you know, how we communicate in this day and age, and especially how young people do, and emojis and what they represent, and being able to see yourself and use that's your voice in a lot of ways. And I mean, I've been trying to get this done for a very long time, and there's just so much pushback. I mean, I think there are some other ways in which you can like create your own and do all this stuff.
They're doing a thing now where there's like where you can sort of create your own emojis, which is also
and color it in and do all, right. But I mean, I think that it just goes hand in hand with the idea of what the ballet slipper and the tights and this kind of uniform represent, and what the color, which is called European pink, what that represents in ballet. So, you know, it's deep.
It's deep.
You're given these items that are really like, this is your entry point into this
It's a little bit like
thing.
the military or
Yeah,
something.
it's like
this is
you're
your
going to
uniform.
start. This is your uniform, and for that first thing to be like, but you are not a part of this. We don't really see you in this space because we're giving you European pink tights that are supposed to represent your skin color, and European pink ballet slippers or point shoes, and the Dance Suite of Harlem and Arthur Mitchell, I think they were really the first people to step in the ballet space and say like, we're going to actually show you what it is to represent our skin tones. And he really, did that. And these big ballet brands just never caught on or felt that it was worthy or worth their money or whatever it was. And it wasn't until during the pandemic that a big shift happened. As black and brown dancers.
That was one of the like.
It was one of the things that these big companies started to do. Like, oh, okay, we will start making some ballet slippers and tights in different shades. And I wasn't dancing at that.
Was this a post-George Floyd thing?
Yep.
Okay.
It was a post-George Floyd. Yeah. And, black and brown dancers, like we always just knew like, oh, we have to like find some leggings, find some tights, find some whatever at the drugstore that's in our skin color. And then we color our own point shoes to match our skin, like in the whole process.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until my very final performance after 25 years of dancing at American Ballet Theatre that I performed in point shoes that were made in my skin color. Isn't that wild?
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And so it means
we have
something,
the first black dancer ever, but we don't have the thing she needs to feel good about herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or as good about herself as she can.
mean, it's a part of ballet. It's a part of the aesthetic is creating this long through line for your body. So, when you look at a ballet dancer in the way that we're used to seeing it, a white woman, you see their skin and the tights, it looks like this, and the point shoe that finishes it. And it's this beautiful long line. And when you see a brown dancer and you have brown skin and all of a sudden you have the break of a pink, tight and shoe, it's going against everything we're working so hard in the studio to achieve.
To create this long line. It's interesting because so my first kids book is coming out in the fall. And written with my friend Adam Mansbach.
Okay.
And the artist is a woman named Brianna Chambers. And it's about my family, but it's like a silly, I wanted to write a silly kids book because everybody would be like, Kamau's going to write a book about how kids need to be less racist. I'm like, no, those are for adults. It's the adults who need to be less racist, not the kids. The kids are generally fine if the adults teach them right. And so I just wanted to write a silly kids book in the way that the books that my kids respond to. But there's images of my family, and it's my 3 daughters. It's Melissa. It's my mom. It's me. And one of the key things that I made sure to do, so it's Melissa, me, my 3 kids, and my mom, 6 people. Each of us are different shades. You could sort of say me and my mom are the same shade, but we're not if you put our hands next to each other. You could say that like my daughter Sammy and my youngest daughter Peanut are the same shade because they have that mixed girl look, but they're not if you put them next to each other. And then you could say that Juno and Melissa are the same shade because Juno, as Juno knows, we talk about she can pass. It's if she, if she's got that, she's got that hidden ability. Some white people are gonna be like, "Hey, let me tell you about these black people." And she's gonna write it down and give it to me. But her and Melissa are not this, so we really work to make sure that it's 6 people with 6 different shades.
I love that. I cannot wait to see this.
Well, I can show you when we're done. I can show you some of the images, but because it's just, and that was my way to be like, this is not a book that's going to address race and racism head on, but it's also about a family of 6 people with that DNA shows you that DNA does a lot of different things when you start mixing it up,
I love that.
Yeah. So that I do take that ways in which, especially kids who are on their computers or on their phones, can find things, black and brown kids that look like them, that they're not just sort of like, oh, I guess I got
just this one.
There's just this one yellow Bart Simpson hand that I got, or Bart Simpson ballet shoe or whatever it is. Yeah. Before I let you go, thank you for doing this.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure.
It's been so great. I really appreciate it. We have known. I think we met sort of pandemic-y. Yeah. Or we sort of on Twitter,
Zoom.
and then
didn't we? And then Zoom. We did.
We did some Zoom general meetings.
I feel like I connected with you maybe when I was coming to do my film in Oakland.
Yes. And then I went to my first white party in Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, yes.
You were there.
Yes.
I had to go buy all white clothes because I was never.
That was so much fun, and it was raining, and we were like in the mud, and
We were
it
in
was
the
like,
mud,
this is
yeah.
great for a white party.
Yeah, it was great. It was so funny. Like I never sort of avoided. If somebody said this is how you have to dress this party, I was like, I'm not going to that.
No.
But it was in the vineyard for the black season of Martha's Vineyard. We got to hang out there, and so I'm just really excited for whatever the next thing is for you. And you seem to be surrounded by great people and Dawn. So somewhere out there, my penultimate question, I had this and then one more. There is a little black girl, a little brown girl who wants to do something like this, who sees you and goes, that. What do you say to those little girls out there?
You know, I think first and foremost, when you discover like a passion, that it's so important to keep revisiting and reminding yourself of why you're doing it, that you're doing it for yourself, that you're doing something that because it brings you joy. And I think a way to continuously, achieve that is by having support. Like to me, the backbone of my success has been the mentors that I've had around me. Like through so many different chapters. I'm like, if I didn't have that person in that moment, who knows where I would be? And so I think it's really vital, whether it be a friend or a teacher or an adult in your life or your own parents. It's so valuable to have a support system around you to be able to be there to process and, keep you on track and cheer you on and support you.
So look for those mentors.
Yes.
Find those people out there who see you for who you are, make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah. And open yourself up to that. I mean, it's so easy to have it be right in front of you. And then if you're not ready to receive it and open to receive it, then it's going to just pass you by. Yeah.
I with my kids, like whenever there's teachers that I see my kids are responding to, or I see a teacher that I think my kid, I try to work hard for my kid to be like that. I think that person, I think that might be your person right there.
Yes.
And I try to tell that teacher, thank you for seeing my kid.
Oh, I love that.
I appreciate. I feel like I don't want you to think that I think that's not. It's extra work to be a mentor in a situation like that. Like every teacher can teach, but it's extra work to say, I see you and I want to support you, separate from the time that you're right in my face.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. This conversation has flown so easily that I feel like, am I missing something? Is it really this easy to talk to Misty Copeland? It is. Just we got the Prince. We did. I got to make fun of Timothy Chalamet several times. This was the dream. If I had to schedule the conversation, you laughed a bunch. I don't know. Can it always be this easy? First of all, if there's anything you ever need from me, or think that I can be valuable in any way, I'm on team Misty Copeland.
Thank you so much. Same here.
Yeah, okay, I appreciate it. Well, this already you did that, so thank you. I like to ask people, because the podcast is Who's With Me, and I feel like that's the most important question to ask in these times of, like, are you with me? Because if you're with me, we can then figure out everything else. And I also learned that my audience likes homework. They like to be told what to do by good people and how to support people out there during these hectic times. Is there a cause, organization that you want people to pay attention to or look into or support? Yeah,
I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so many. Of course, the Misty Copeland Foundation and the work that we're doing. We're only 4 years old.
Well, and, that's totally fair. Don't feel shy about.
Yeah, I mean, it's important work, and we're in the Bronx and in Harlem. We haven't kind of gotten out of the New York area yet, but I think just it's free ballet classes offered in these communities. And we've created the curriculum, like the framework, specifically for these kids. So it's not your traditional ballet class.
Wow.
And there's live musicians in every class of all kinds. I mean, we've got like jazz musicians, we have African drummers, like everything. It's not just classical, piano. But anyways.
So wait, I don't want to. Anyways, that you have set up in the Bronx and Harlem free ballet classes in neighborhoods that are Black and brown neighborhoods.
Yes. It's in community centers in the after-school setting.
In community centers and after-school settings, and curriculum that is designed for those kids to meet them where they're at.
Yes.
So they don't feel like they're walking into the pink shoe, pink tight area, and suddenly everybody's in tuxedos and
right. It's meeting them where they are in their communities
and making them feel good. Okay, so I just feel like if people are listening and they look into that, there might be some people who I want to bring that to my community.
Yeah,
and my 401k is popping right now, and so let me figure out. So I think
absolutely.
I think this is something we definitely want to make sure people.
It's the Misty Copeland Foundation, but I think just investing in the arts and dance in general. Go see your local community performers. Spend the money that you might put aside to go see sports, something or other. Or go see Beyonce or Taylor Swift. I think that what's often said is like, well, that's not for us. It's too expensive, whatever. And it's like, well, I think it's really about rethinking how you
allocate your funds,
and maybe taking a chance on investing in the arts in that way.
I think that's a big major point. Like investing in the arts sometimes sounds like, funding a foundation or something, but sometimes go see some ballet.
Yeah.
Go see some jazz. And I think for me, I want to add to the thing I said earlier, go see something that you don't normally see.
Right.
Like go see something that you're like, I don't know what this is. And understand that even if you didn't vibe with it, it opens you up to more things,
Curiosity is so important.
Go see something.
Yes.
Go see some. Yes. Invest in the arts by going to see some art.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, and my last question. So it's who's with me? Are you with me?
Oh, I am with you.
All right.
What you mean?
All right. I just wanted to make sure. I always ask. I feel like that's a redundant question.
Like, meh, no, peace.
I'm glad you asked that. I've been waiting. No, not at all. Not one bit. It's been good talking to you.
Oh, this has been so wonderful.
Thank
you so much for having me.
Thank you. I'm so honored that you came and we figured it out. And
yes.
Once we booked you, I was like, I got to go to New York. Yes. It's like if Misty said yes, I got to go to New York. Although I'm staying in a hotel in New York because I'm.
You're going to be close to the airport?
Close to the airport. I've made better decisions in life, but at least I'm close to the airport tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Who's With Me. Again, I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Misty Copeland. I really enjoyed talking to her. I liked how much she laughed. As a comedian, it's fun when somebody laughs a lot, and I appreciate that. Thank you for laughing, Misty. Again, check out the Misty Copeland Foundation. Also, check out MistyCopeland.com to keep up what's going on with her. You hear her talk about her documentary project she's doing with the amazing Dawn Porter. So check that out. Coming soon to somewhere near you, or maybe coming at some point to somewhere near you, but check that out. Follow Misty on all her social platforms. She's big on Instagram. And again, Misty Copeland Foundation, so that more Black and brown girls have access to ballet. I know some of you out there have big enough pockets where you can help them out. Thanks to Rabbit Grin Productions for doing all the things I don't want to do, all the technical things. Thanks to Pushkin Industries for hosting the podcast. Thanks to Who Knows Best Productions, which is me and my wife. I'm sitting in the offices right now. And thanks to you for listening. And thanks to Chris Dowd from the legendary band Fishbone for doing the theme music. And as always, in this next week, do something good for yourself, for your community, and for the world. Take care. Hey, thanks for watching an episode of Who's With Me. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe, share, hit that hype button. I hear it makes all the difference. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the hype button. Thank you.